Now, this is probably my favorite drama of this year, largely because I think it is mostly inconsequential. Today, we are smoking on a Mutahar pack, you know. Mutahar is getting cancelled left and right. And not because he did something like atrocious, he didn't like text a minor or something, he didn't trigger the lefties or did a Hitler salute, or he didn't even watch short stack goblin porn. No, Mutahar just had like different statements about his main job, because he always claims that he has a main job besides YouTube, and actually YouTube is more like a hobby. And he has claimed multiple times that he works different kinds of tech jobs and it all doesn't make sense, and now it's all crumbling down, and we find out that probably it's all a lie, or maybe most of it was a lie. But I think the amount of cancellation is just so hilarious, and it's just because he's not addressing it. He's not making a video, he's not clearing it up, he's just letting it fester. He's just letting this whole drama fester. So here we can see actually the last video is 7 days ago, and I actually watched this video because I am actually a Mutahar watcher. So I am actually pretty biased, I would say. I actually, because I like Mutahar, I watch a lot of his content, I actually am biased towards Mutahar. Yeah? So I will definitely defend him. You will see. I just don't think that this is like a big deal. I just think that Mutahar is one of the worst people when it comes to handling drama, and that's why he's messing this up as well. And that's why we are smoking on a Mutahar pack today, okay? So blaze up. So I will explain in this video why exactly I think that Mutahar actually has trouble addressing this issue and clearing this up, and I think it has something to do with his parents. I think that his parents have certain expectations of him, but I think I will circle back to that point at the end of this video. So I will just introduce, if you haven't seen it for yourself, how this whole thing came about. There is somebody, something that we call today an A-logger. A-logging, a term used to describe one expressing disproportionate levels of hatred for someone, often including wishing them physical harm, usually for perceived crimes that they are guilty of. And I would say usually when you use that term, it's probably not about necessarily physical harm, but in a lot of cases it's about exposing somebody. And usually the A-logger is somebody who is kind of no-lifing the situation. So this is probably somebody who doesn't have a job, or at least spends most of their free time posting about this one person they are A-logging about. And it's interesting that nobody has actually upvoted this explanation, which is very accurate. I think that physical harm is sometimes true, not every time. Of course, if you have people like Bat and Empanada, then it's more of the direction. Mostly it's just harassing somebody, basically. So if you see this channel, you see that this is probably some sort of Mutahar A-logger. So this guy has made countless videos about Mutahar already. So this is about Mutahar and the Noxtaku drama. So small recap is that this guy Noxtaku is a very edgy, pretty much right-wing dude who has like I would say 4chan tendencies. So it's like a kind of like a right-wing, but also like anime fan type of dude. And he has oftentimes used in his videos pictures of very young girls, but of course not real pictures, but anime pictures, which is considered lowly. And he was kind of, I would say people addressed this in a lot of people addressed this, and Mutahar decided to completely cut all ties with this guy Noxtaku and said basically he will not work with him anymore. And then at the end, a lot of these fans from Noxtaku, and a lot of them were actually lowly fans, stormed Mutahar's channel, and then at the end he took it all back and basically said that he is now apologizing for criticizing Noxtaku. The podcast they had together still didn't continue, but he kind of like took all of it back. So it's kind of like, do you stand on it or not? I would actually say I think he overreacted quite a bit in this Noxtaku situation, but at the end I think the criticism about Noxtaku, about the lowly stuff and such, I think this guy is kind of a weird dude, so I think it's kind of weird for him to just flip-flop back and forth between the 2 points. So there we could already see that Mutahar is very bad at handling drama. So and now this guy also kept A-logging, of course, and he made this video, which I already watched. Mutahar has been a fake engineer for 10 years. And this is also a very funny video, right? I think most of the people who watch this video probably have seen this or have seen parts of this. And a lot of these things are very hilarious. So without just stealing the whole video or something, I would just highlight some areas of this video.
I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer. No, I'm a computer engineer, okay? I'm a fucking computer engineer. I'm a computer engineer.
So this is the word computer engineer.
I thought when I got into university for a while and I dropped out like a semester in because I was like, okay, no.
Oh, he dropped out after a semester.
Like, I'm a dropout myself. I've never finished university. But I'm not going to dog on like school, you know what I mean?
So on multiple occasions he says that he's a dropout, and on a lot of occasions he says he's a computer engineer. That is just not working. You can't be a computer engineer like this is like your degree, and then on the other hand say that you dropped out. I mean, what is the timeline here? This is just very confusing.
And initially called himself a video engineer.
I'm a video engineer now. I think I know how this shit fucking works.
It's not a real engineering job, but he was still calling himself an engineer.
So you can already see that this guy Mutahar is certainly using the word engineer like he has like a very loose understanding of it, and I think he doesn't know how specific the term engineer actually is. I think in Europe it's actually the same. I think here it's also like very clear what an engineer is. It's actually the same. Usually if you have like a engineer degree, it kind of means that you have like a master's degree. So you have already done your bachelor degree and your master degree at the university. So it's like a very specific term. And to say that you're an engineer, that means something. It just doesn't mean that you're just somebody who works as the person in this field. If you do like video editing, you're not a video engineer. It's not, I don't even think a video engineer exists. But if you say a computer engineer or like a informatics engineer, that would mean that you have done a master of science in that field. And actually I can say for myself, I actually have a bachelor of science in a tech related subject. So I would know what I'm talking about in this sense, and this is not me just saying that every time and at the end you find out that it's actually a lie. No, I actually have a tech-related bachelor's degree, which is not obviously not crazy. It's just a bachelor's. It's not a master degree, which would be to say that you're an engineer would mean that you, I think, nowadays today's verbiage, it would mean that you have a master's degree, and I don't have a master's degree, so I'm actually not an engineer. I'm a in German we say a diplom and Vordiplom, which means I'm a pre-engineer basically. And then one thing that Mutahar does, he claims all these different titles, and then he also says, at some point he says that he's working in an office and he's going to the office every day. Then at another point he's saying that he's doing day trading, and then on the other hand he's saying they have like some sort of like LLC or something. They have like their own company that owns property. And then at some point he says that he owns 7-Elevens because somebody made a joke that he's working at the 7-Eleven because that's like an Indian joke because a lot of Indians work at 7-Elevens. And he says he owns 7-Elevens. So it seems that every time it's something else. It does seem like he owns property or he owns businesses. That is something I would actually say that is kind of likely. I wouldn't be surprised if that's true, that he invests part of his money by buying either businesses or like real estate, basically. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And that he's trading real estate or trading currency online, that would also not surprise me.
How many subs do you have on YouTube?
I think like 3.4 or 5 million or something. I don't know the exact amount.
3.5, like 3.5 million. We'll say that. And you're still doing multiple 9-to-5s where you're running different businesses. You were talking about.
Yeah, I'm CEO of our own company. Like I'm CEO of like our own group. We do a lot of like property and like asset investment around where we live.
This one actually, I do believe that, or let's say I don't know it. I could very likely. This is like something that is not absurd. Like that he has property, he manages assets. I would actually say, most likely he's actually just buying property together with his wife and maybe even with his family, and they just manage the property and maybe buy and sell stuff, that would be absolutely believable.
We're getting into construction and everything too. So it's like for us, like my job is a 9 to 5 every day.
So also saying that he does construction. So if they have a property and they renovate the property, also absolutely believable. To say we do construction, that sounds like you have a construction business, which is definitely not the case. I couldn't believe that. He's probably just doing like renovation, that like he's ordering renovation. That would be something that I could definitely believe. To say that it's a 9 to 5, I mean, that is probably a lot of time investment. Saying that it's a 9 to 5, you could say that's his full-time job. 9 to 5 kind of implies that you actually have like a specific work hours, which is something that I don't really believe for Mutahar to be the case.
You upload how many videos a week?
A day. Like I upload it every day.
Jesus. This is why
This is where he's trying to flex. He's trying to impress these guys. He's saying, because Mutahar is uploading every day. But claiming this 9 to 5 before, this is kind of like he wants this combination that people say, oh wow, this guy is such a workaholic. And I think this is where we're getting towards his parents. I think this is kind of like he has this attitude of, if my parents see these things, they want to be, he wants his parents to be impressed. He wants them to be proud. I think that's what it is. He has never said this, and he's not going too deep. Never going too deep into the relationship with his parents, but that's just something that I feel to be true.
Exactly, and why I always...
He really loves bathing in that praise, but it's not enough. He needs to flex more.
Driving there, we were talking about cybersecurity because that's what you went to school for. You're like, homeboy's very smart. You do actually business, and then YouTube is a
YouTube is always
thing.
like the secondary side gig.
So that's probably not true. I wouldn't be surprised if Mutahar did like some sort of tech undergrad degree. That would be something that I believe, because he was, I think, studying at some point early in the beginning of his YouTube career. So he probably did like a bachelor's or something. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was called undergrad degree or bachelor's or something. In Germany it's called bachelor's. And that's probably what he did. And I don't know if he finished it necessarily, but it wouldn't be hard to believe. I just think that he just probably worked at that job for a short time and then at some point quit because YouTube was just becoming his main job, and then he also started to invest his money. And I think that's what actually happened, because Mutahar is not somebody who spends a lot of money, so it makes sense that with his YouTube channel, which makes a lot of money, that he's just investing his money, and this is just something that he spends a good amount of time doing. So it's just claiming that he has a full-time job as like an engineer or something. This is just so crazy. He's just not correcting him, and he makes it seem like he's also working as a cybersecurity agent. He's not explicitly saying it in this clip, but it's kind of like it's in your mind already. So this is the craziest clip of them all. This is so insane.
Like for me, it's like the receipts.
Crazy.
If I could tabulate them up every year, you know, like like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity. And it was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off charity for taxes. I think it's...
This is the dumbest statement I have ever heard. This is so dumb. I don't know if it's true, by the way. I have no idea. Could Mutahar donate 200,000 a year? Yes, he could certainly do it. Would Mutahar donate 200,000 a year? Maybe. I could believe that. He's somebody who's trying to be as principled as he can be. I'm not actually sure if Mutahar is principled. He definitely tries to seem principled. So maybe he did donate 200,000. I would believe it, but this is where it gets very hard to believe, because everybody who would be around him would tell him that this just doesn't make sense. This just doesn't make sense at all. Let's hear this again.
Like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity, and it was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off charity for taxes. I think
he's not writing off charity for taxes. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. So first of all, people absolutely misunderstand this thing with the writing off for taxes. People oftentimes say somebody is donating just to write it off for taxes. That doesn't make sense at all. This is so dumb. It's not like, let's say at the end of the day, you take home $100,000, right? And then you donate 20,000. It's not like at the end you take home more than 100,000 because you made a donation and paid no taxes on it. That's not the case. It's not like you take home more money. It's not the case. It just means that the taxes that you already paid, some of those taxes that you already paid, can be used for the donation, basically, because the donation is written off from the taxes. So you don't have to pay those taxes that you spend for the donation. It's not exactly what I'm saying right now, but you have to understand. Let's say you take home 100,000 after taxes, then you spend like 20,000 for donation, and then at the end you take home maybe less than 100,000, but it's not 20,000 less because you get a lot of the donation written off by taxes. It's just you basically get some of your taxes back, so you can donate it. So the state takes less of your donations, so you can donate more. So doing this just makes a lot of sense, because that means that less money goes to the state, more money goes to your donation recipient, right? Your foundation or whatever. So it's just more donation, less taxes for the state. And unless you're like a state simp or something, you would always write this off. Saying you don't write it off because you don't believe in it, because like you want to like do some sort of moral argument, like I shouldn't be the one. I think he explains it as if it's like an immoral thing and he would make money doing it, because I think he heard it so many times that people say, oh, this guy's just donating because he can write it off from his taxes. This doesn't make sense whatsoever. It's not like you take home more money. It's just the most moral thing to do is to actually write off from your taxes so you can donate more, because then you free up more money that you can donate. That's basically it. Or you can just donate a larger amount because some of it gets written off from the taxes. People are so dumb when it comes to taxes. People just claim some sort of bullshit online. Just people say, oh, they just want to write it off from their taxes. It's just so. This is like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And that the fact that Mutahar also believes this, it's like, this is like, either he's extremely stupid, which this is something that surprises me extremely, or he's just extremely misinformed on that point. Extremely misinformed.
It's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Writing off charitable donations is a shitty thing to do. How? Why?
Well, for me, it's like
the more money you can write off, the more money you can keep from the government and spend it better, putting it toward more charity.
Exactly.
Money that 7 is when I get up. I got to be in meetings every fucking day. My work day doesn't end until like 4 p.m. That's when I get like a chance to open up the Premiere Pro project file for the video, and I get to work on that, and then I get to upload that a day later. Like, I don't believe in.
So this whole thing about the schedule, I almost want to make another video about this, because this is so crazy. I do not believe Mutahar's schedule. I do not believe it. I don't believe it at all. Mutahar is somebody who stays up late, plays like horror video games, and he does a lot of other stuff. You can't tell me that this guy is getting up at 7 in the morning every day and does like video chats and calls. I'm not saying that he doesn't do none of them, because probably if he talks to like real estate managers or something, he's probably talking to people. He's probably doing video chats, he's probably doing calls. Does Mutahar get up every day at 7 a.m.? Come on.
Like, I literally can't believe in a day off. Like, I'm always like jittery because I'm like, I want to do work. Like, I really do like enjoy doing work. Like,
this is an absolute lie. You can't be like a professional gamer. I mean, his YouTube channel is close to like his gaming hobby. So I would say he's almost like a professional gamer in that sense. He's like a professional gaming influencer, I would say. And to say
I want to do work. Like, I really do like enjoy doing work. Like, any day that I don't feel like I do my job, fucking cry about it. I'm like.
To say that you cry about not doing your job when you're like a hardcore gamer, it's so crazy. I don't know what Mutahar's mission in this video is, because I think he's just lying to these guys. Some of these things that he's saying have to be lies. It's just impossible for all of that to be true. It's absolutely impossible. Let's not forget, this guy has a wife. He has a family. He doesn't have kids, of course. He doesn't have children yet. But he still has a wife. He has a YouTube channel where he uploads daily, usually. Daily. He has probably real estate. properties that he manages. And then he also claims that he works a 9 to 5 every day, getting up at 7 a.m. And then he also does an absurd amount of gaming. If you sometimes see what this guy is playing video game wise, how much hours he's putting into gaming, how many games this guy has played, how many different type of games, how many different genres of games this guy is playing. That he's also playing multiplayer, he's playing single player. This guy's day must have like 40 hours if he's also working a full-time job. There is no way. He has to lie. There's some lie somewhere. I don't think like it's not like a malicious lie. He's just trying to seem like the like a Superman. He's just trying to seem like the guy who can do everything. Like he's a man of like unlimited talents or something. There is some like harmless lie in here, and he just has to get clean about this. There's no way he can just ignore this topic. At some point, he's also talking about selling some sort of software to Microsoft. I mean, this is a funny video, especially with it's funny to make people are making fun of this, and this is alright, but I think it's just an idea he had, and he was just talking about on live stream. I think this is kind of harmless.
So I have this idea, and I hope to one day sell it to Microsoft, right? So what I do is, since I have a really good video background, right, I've been designing neural stuff around it. So what I want to do one day is, you know how Microsoft has backwards compatibility, right? So would it be really fun if I could design a way that Microsoft could take the textures in their video games, right? So they could take the textures mapped in their video games and find a way to AI upgrade them. So like basically use a fucking photo AI, like basically use an artificial intelligence
He's just talking about like some sort of Microsoft game where the textures were probably pretty shitty, and he was just like, okay, let's upres them with AI, which is probably something that already exists. So it's just like he just had like this idea in like 6 years ago. I think AI at that point wasn't that developed yet. So now these things exist. It's just, he was actually kind of forward thinking here. It's just because he doesn't have the time and probably also not the knowledge to build something like that, to build like an AI tool. Not happening, but I think sometimes you have ideas about this. I actually had an idea for a VS Code extension recently. I actually might do it at some point in the next months and actually release it. But it's like a very specific thing. It's like for a preprocessor of HTML. It's not like a crazy thing about like doing like some sort of AI crazy stuff. It's just like a VS Code extension. But sometimes you have these ideas, and if you're doing live stream, sometimes you utter them out. So it's like, I don't think that that's like a big of a deal. And then also there's this section. I think this is like probably the best thing of this video, and let's watch this. This is just very, very great to enjoy.
I play video games and scratch my balls most days when I'm not working. I wake up, I scratch my balls, I do my job, and then I fucking play some video games. I wake up, scratch my balls, play some Mass Effect, make a video, and like do some of my stock work, and that's it. I wake up, I scratch my balls, and I play some Mass Effect, okay? I wake up every day, I do my job, I scratch my balls, I play around with Linux, some video games, and that's my life, dude.
Before we get in,
and I think there's like a very important point that Mutahar is actually waking up every day scratching his balls. I mean, it's just amazing. By the way, he found all of that out by just getting the auto-generated subtitles of these videos and just browsing them for certain content, which is an interesting way to do things. I think if you have like some sort of questionable content on your YouTube channel, you should probably delete it right now, because people will just go through all these subtitles and just they will find some shit in your YouTube videos. So make sure you don't have anything crazy on your channel. But anyways, I think getting up, scratching your balls, doing your job, and then afterwards playing video games is actually something that I can kind of relate to, even though I do a lot of salsa and bachata dancing now, which is actually making me less of a nerd, I would say. But other than that, I mean, I do like to get up, scratch my balls, do my job, like mostly programming, and then afterwards playing some video games. That's like a nice thing to do. I mean, I'd also like to do sports and such, but especially in the winter when weather is very bad, you usually do your job, scratch your balls, and that's it. But I think when he's talking about his job, sometimes maybe he had like some sort of consulting position when it comes to IT security, because it's something that he mentions a lot of times. I feel like things that he mentions often, it's probably something, there's probably some truth to it, or something is going on over there. So maybe I had like some sort of consulting position, because I don't think that he's like a very good programmer. That's not something that he never showed himself programming. He's like a guy who sets up Linux and sets up VMs and sets up programs. He's not somebody who programs. He's not somebody who writes code. That's not something that he has ever claimed. So he maybe had like some sort of consulting position or something, where he worked a couple of hours every week. And then he's probably doing like investing and managing assets. That's my guess. But I think he should just clear this up. And now, at the end, I will actually say what I think is going on. I think he probably told his parents that he is working as an engineer. I think that's the main issue here. And I think it's not true. And he probably told like a white lie to his parents, because his parents don't understand what YouTube is. And then just to show you guys my skills, I will actually impersonate his father for a moment here. Mutahar, what if YouTube channel fail? You need a job. You need to work as an engineer or doctor. And by the way, if you think imitating an accent is racist, go fuck yourself. You can imitate my fucking German-ass accent every day of the week, okay? You can do this every day, no problem. I think that his Indian parents probably want him to have like some sort of degree or something that would also kind of occupy him, even if his YouTube channel fails, or if his YouTube channel completely gets demonetized. They probably know that he has problems with monetization sometimes, and they probably said, you need a real job. And he probably told his parents that he has a real job. And he maybe even worked for a while at something, because I don't think Mutahar is somebody who would just completely 100% lie about something. I think it's like an 80% lie. Like maybe he worked at something for a couple of months and then he didn't work for it anymore. And it's just like, it's probably like truth is like in the middle. But I think he needs to clear this up now. I think he doesn't want to say it, because he doesn't want his parents, who probably know his YouTube channel, to find out about it. And that's also why he's actually restricting the comments. He's actually restricting the comments, so the word engineer is blocked, and the word Noxtaku is also blocked. That's what I heard in a video recently, and I actually totally believe that, because if you go to Mutahar's comment section, you can actually see.
Hello, guys and gals. A few days ago, an account known as Nate.
Oh, okay. Actually, there is a comment about an engineer. Okay, it seems maybe he has already went back and allowed the word engineer now. But sometimes people said that it was actually blocked. Turns out he was just an ordinary gamer after all. I think actually he probably has a business where he invests in properties. I think actually that's the case. And then Bro went back to college before get the degree before this one. Okay, so Mutahar is currently at university trying to get a degree. That's why he's currently not responding. But I think people showed that it was actually blocked, this word engineer. Maybe he actually said, okay, this would be too crazy. People would just expose me left and right. He has to stop somewhere, and that's why it's now allowed to use the word engineer now. But anyways, I think at this point, probably his parents have found out that his story about being an engineer is probably, that's probably, I don't know if it's like a tall tale or if it's like a white lie. I think this is largely inconsequential. It's just a thing that he has to figure out with his parents. He's probably explaining to his parents right now as we speak. He's probably at his parents and explaining them in an Indian accent that he is financially so well off that he will never need a job ever again in his life. And then he's probably showing them all kinds of properties that he's bought, all kinds of, I don't know, whatever he has. Mutahar is probably a multi-millionaire. He probably needs a job never again. So that's probably something that he's explaining to his parents right now. And that's why he's taking a couple of days off just to cool this down. Also, he doesn't know how to respond. At some point, he's probably coming back and saying, okay, guys, this is probably what I think will happen. He's probably explaining that he has worked a job here and there, and mostly he does YouTube. That's kind of his. Hopefully he will tell us that this is not just a hobby, this is an actual job for him, but he also has other things he does on the side. Hopefully that's what he will explain to us, because that would be the only true thing, would be the truth, and hopefully that we believe the story. But I think it's about his parents, and that's why he said over the years that he's an engineer, because he wants his parents to believe that. And maybe I do another follow-up video, even though this one is already getting very long, where we can kind of look at, like, for instance, I think there's like an interesting thing to be said about Mutahar on live streams and when he calls into people, and Mutahar on his YouTube channel. There is a huge, vast difference. Like when he called it to local, he's like pulling a weapon and saying somebody's invading his home, which was his brother, by the way, and he wants to shoot somebody down, or I don't know, like playing a tough guy. And he's all using also like edgy commentary, kind of some racist jokes here and there, and then on his YouTube channel he's like the most clean person ever, like very tame, very toned down. So yeah, I think that's something that we can also talk about, and maybe review some of those clips. But that's it. Ciao out.